Journey to the West, an audio drama series. Chapter 26, Part 2. We set aside Bajie's jokes and fooling around and instead go to Xingzhe, who left Penglai on his suspicious cloud before arriving at the immortal mountain named Fangzhang. What a fine destination this mountain was. Majestic, a paradise in its own right. Here is where gods gather. With light and fragrance, the immortal enjoys a long life surrounded by divine herbs. Xingzhe descended on his cloud, but he was in no mood for sightseeing. As he walked, he smelled an aromatic breeze accompanied by the cries of cranes. A deity appeared, in what looked like beams of colorful light alongside birds of legend. Long living and forever young, he was equipped with instruments of his religion. Capable of wiping away misfortune, he had the power to educate the masses. A guest of many a divinity, his sacred title is Donghua Dijun, Imperial Lord of East Glory. Sun Xingzhe greeted him up front and called, "Imperial Lord, you have my salute." The Imperial Lord hurriedly returned the gesture and said, "I apologize for the lack of courtesy, great sage. Please have some tea in my humble residence." And so he brought Xingzhe inside, holding his hand. It surely was an immortal palace of shell arches and endless structures of jade. Just when they sat down for tea, behind the jade dividing screen appeared a small boy dressed in Taoist attire. That was none other than the young immortal by the name of Dongfang Shuo. Dongfang is his family name, while his first name is Shuo. A charismatic court comedian from Han Dynasty, Dongfang Shuo was rumored to have stolen divine peaches in his youth. Xingzhe saw him and chuckled before saying, "So you little thief lives here, but the Imperial Lord has no peaches around for you to steal." Dongfang Shuo paid his respect to the one above before replying, "Old thief, what are you doing here? My master has no magic pellets for you to steal as a treat." The Imperial Lord called out, "Manxian, stop blabbering. Go serve tea." Manxian, in fact, was Dongfang Shuo's courtesy name, now also serving as his religious name. He then quickly went inside to grab 2 cups of tea. Once they drank it, Xingzhe said, "Elder Sun came here with a favor to ask. I wonder if that's permitted." The Imperial Lord asked, "What is the matter? I am willing to hear about it." And so Xingzhe told him about everything and asked, "I came to your respected place specially to ask for a cure. I hope you can be generous with me." The Imperial Lord said, "You monkey, causing trouble everywhere with no regard for anything. That Zhen Yuanzi from Wuzhuang Temple has the sacred title of Lord equivalent to the universe and is the patriarch of all earthly immortals. Why'd offend him of all people? That Renshen fruit tree of his is the grass pellet of reversion. Eating it without permission is enough of a crime. How will he ever let you get away with knocking the tree over?" Xingzhe said, "That's exactly right. We ran away, but he caught up to us before swooping us up in his sleeves like handkerchiefs. That's why we've been engaging in petty fights. I had no choice but agree to finding a cure. That's why I am knocking at your doors." The Imperial Lord said, "I do possess one original reversion pellet of 9 turns, which could cure all living creatures of this world, but it cannot heal a tree. Trees are spirits of water and soil. They are nurtured by heaven and earth. If it's a fruit tree of the mortal world, there are certainly ways to revive it. But the Infinite Longevity Mountain is a blessed land predating heaven, and the Wuzhuang Temple a hidden paradise incontinent of the West. The Renshen fruit is a magical root from the time when heaven and earth broke apart. How could there possibly be a cure? I haven't one. None." Xingzhe said, "If so, Elder Sun shall bid farewell." The Imperial Lord still wanted him to stay behind for a cup of divine liquor, but Xingzhe said, "Saving the tree is an emergency. I dare not linger any more." So he rode on his cloud to the islands of Yingzhou. This, too, was a fine destination. Pearlescent trees circled the scenic paradise, home to birds of rainbow feathers. A mortal person can never understand this immortal realm, where a spring beyond this world lasts an eternity. The great sage arrived at Yingzhou and found that under the pearlescent trees on a cinnabar cliff were several individuals of white hair but youthful faces. They were there playing board games over liquor as they sang and laughed. In this blessed realm of magical birds and beasts, their names were documented in books of the divine, but they were unbound by the restrictions of time. The old men were just enjoying some carefree bliss when Xingzhe shouted in a loud voice, "How about letting me join the fun?" The immortals heard that and hurriedly came out to greet him. They were known as Yingzhou Jiulao, the 9 elders of Yingzhou. Xingzhe laughed and said, "How very free you old brothers are." The 9 elders said, "Had the great sage preserved a sense of righteousness and not caused havoc in heaven, you would be freer than we are. But all is good and well now. We heard you have turned to the truth by seeking Buddha westward. How did you find the time to come here?" Xingzhe then told them everything about having to cure the tree. The 9 elders were also astonished when they said, "What huge trouble you caused! What huge trouble! We truly have no cure." Xingzhe said, "If that's the case, I shall bid farewell." The 9 elders asked him to stay behind for liquor and some lotus root, but Xingzhe refused to sit down. He instead had a cup of wine and 1 piece of lotus root standing up, before leaving Yingzhou in a hurry. Turning straight toward the east seas, he soon saw Mount Podolak within a short distance. Descending from his cloud, he came all the way to the Podolak rocks and saw Guanyin Bodhisattva giving a lecture on scriptures to the divine guardians, Mu Cha and the Dragon Girl, in the purple bamboo grove. It was indeed an extraordinary occasion with words capable of freeing mortals from their worldly cages. Bodhisattva had long noticed Xingzhe's arrival, so she ordered the divine mountain guardian to welcome him. The great guardian went out of the forest and called, "Sun Wukong, where do you think you're going?" Xingzhe looked up and shouted, "You bear! Is it even appropriate for you to address me by my name? If Elder Sun did not let you off at the time, you would have long become a dead corpse on Black Wind Mountain. Now you are following Bodhisattva and have obtained the righteous fruit. You can reside on this immortal mountain and often receive religious teachings. Shouldn't you be addressing me as Lord instead?" The black bear really did find the true fruit and was now guarding Podolak at Bodhisattva's place. He now enjoyed the title of Divine Guardian, and this was all thanks to Xingzhe. So he could only put up a smile and said, "Great sage, as the ancients say, the virtuous do not dwell on old grievances. Why mention those at all? Bodhisattva has sent me here to greet you." And so Xingzhe became solemnly respectful as he entered the purple bamboo grove with the divine guardian to see Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva asked, "Wukong, where is the Tang monk now?" Xingzhe answered, "We've arrived at Infinite Longevity Mountain on continent of the West." Bodhisattva said, "There is a Wuzhuang temple on Infinite Longevity Mountain. Have you met great immortal Zhen Yuan?" Xingzhe kowtowed and said, "It's precisely in Wuzhuang temple where your disciple failed to recognize great immortal Zhen Yuan and damaged his Renshen fruit tree. I offended him, and so he kept my master held up. We cannot move forward now." Bodhisattva was well aware of this situation, so she complained, "You unruly monkey have no concept of right and wrong. That Renshen fruit tree is a magical root dating back to the birth of the universe. Zhen Yuanzi is the patriarch of all earthly immortals. Even I have to show him a certain degree of deference. How dare you hurt his tree?" Xingzhe kowtowed again and said, "Your disciple truly had no idea." He explained the sequence of events before pleading, "I was just searching for a cure across the seas and traveled on all 3 islands, but none of the gods were capable of a cure. With faith and devotion, your disciple therefore specially came to inform you, Bodhisattva. I humbly wish that your mercy can be granted in my direction so the Tang monk can soon be saved and head westward." Bodhisattva asked, "Why did you not come to me earlier and instead went searching on the islands?" Xingzhe heard this and became secretly delighted. "I'm in luck indeed. Bodhisattva must have a cure. So he went up to plead again. Bodhisattva said, "The sweet dew at the bottom of my immaculate vase works well in healing immortal trees and magical sprouts." Xingzhe asked, "Has it been tested yet?" Bodhisattva answered, "It has." Xingzhe asked, "In what way?" Bodhisattva explained, "The supreme and venerable elder once made a bet with me. He would take away my willow twig and put it in his pellet furnace where it was burnt and charred before being returned to me. I placed it inside my vase, and after one whole day and night went by, it regained fresh branches and green leaves, just like before." Xingzhe laughed and said, "I am truly in luck, truly in luck. If even the charred can be healed, how hard would it be to revive something that was knocked over?" Bodhisattva then instructed everyone, "Guard the forest. I will be right back." She then held the immaculate vase with the white parrot chirping in front of her, and great sage Sun following right behind. We speak now of the great immortal who was casually chatting with the three elders in his temple when suddenly great sage Sun came down from the clouds, calling, "Bodhisattva is here, hurry up and welcome her." Panicking, the stars Zhen Yuanzi along with Sanzang and his disciples all came out of the treasure hall. Once Bodhisattva withdrew her auspicious cloud, she first talked to Zhen Yuanzi before exchanging greetings with the three stars. When the formalities were complete, Xingzhe led the Tang monk, Ba Jie, and Sha monk in prostrating to her before the steps. The immortals of the temple also came to pay their respect. Xingzhe said, "No need to hesitate, great immortal. Quickly prepare your incense table and ask Bodhisattva to heal your fruit tree and whatever." The great immortal bowed to thank Bodhisattva, saying, "It is such a small matter that does not deserve the labor of Bodhisattva's descent." Bodhisattva said, "Tang monk is my disciple and Sun Wukong offended the gentleman. It is only reasonable to restore the precious tree." The three elders said, "If so, then there's no need for further pleasantries. Please, Bodhisattva, come to the garden and have a look." The great immortal thereby had an incense table set up and the backyard swept. Bodhisattva was asked to go first with the three elders behind her. Sanzang and his disciples, along with the immortals of the temple, all came to the garden for a look. The tree was lying on the ground, its roots exposed from cracked earth, leaves fallen and branches bare. Bodhisattva said, "Wukong, give me your hand." Xingzhe then opened his left palm. Bodhisattva dipped some sweet dew from her vase with the willow twig before drawing on Xingzhe's palm a symbol for reviving the dead. She then instructed him to place the symbol below the roots and watch for water coming out as a sign. Xingzhe then held out his fist and placed the symbol under the tree's roots. Within moments, a clear spring was welling up. Bodhisattva said, "That water must not come in contact with tools of the five faces and must be scooped up with a jade ladle. Then prop the tree up and pour the water from top down. Naturally, the roots and barks will grow back together, leaves and sprouts come out, branches turn green, and fruit appear." Xingzhe then said, "Young Taoist, quickly bring here a jade ladle." Zhen Yuanzi said, "This humble Taoist desolate mountain has no jade ladle but only jade cups for tea and wine. Can those be used?" Bodhisattva said, "As long as they are jade instruments that can hold water, then it's fine. Do bring them over." The great immortal then ordered the youths to bring over 20 to 30 teacups and 40 to 50 wine cups to scoop the clear spring from under the roots. Xingzhe, Ba Jie, and Sha monk carried the tree on their shoulders to prop it up right before piling on soil. One after another, they passed the sweet spring to Bodhisattva in jade containers. Bodhisattva lightly sprinkled the water with a willow twig while reciting scriptures in her mouth. Soon enough, all the water was sprinkled, and indeed, the tree returned to its leafy, lush green form as before, with 23 renshen fruit on it. The two youths, Qingfeng and Mingyue, said, "When the fruit went missing the other day, we counted many times and only found 22. Now that it's back to life, Why is there one more? 行者 said, Only time can show one's true heart. The other day, elder son only stole 3 fruit. That one fell onto the ground, and according to the 2 layers of soil, this treasure assimilates when it touches earth. 八戒 kept babbling about me taking commission. That's how the secret escaped, and we got tangled in this mess until now. Now everything is cleared up. Bodhisattva said, The reason I did not use instruments of the 5 faces just now was because I knew this tree is antagonistic toward the 5 faces. The Great Immortal was immensely overjoyed and quickly ordered the golden mallet be brought over to knock down 10 fruit. He then invited Bodhisattva and the 3 elders back to the treasure hall first to thank them for their labor and also to host a Renshen fruit banquet. The many young immortals thereby arranged tables and chairs and put out scarlet trays. Bodhisattva was invited to sit on the top seat at the center. The 3 elders sat on the left side and Sanzang on the right side. Zhen Yuanzi accompanied them in the front seat. They each ate 1 fruit. When Bodhisattva and the 3 elders each ate 1 fruit, the Tang monk began to understand that it was a treasure of the immortals. So he also ate 1. Wukong and his 2 brothers each ate 1. Zhen Yuanzi also ate 1 to keep his guests company. The immortals in the temple divided the last fruit between themselves. Xingzhe then thanked Bodhisattva before sending her back to the Podolak Rocks and the 3 stars straight back to Penglai Island. Zhen Yuanzi then arranged vegetables and wine to become sworn brothers with Xingzhe. This was indeed a case of no friendship can be made without a fight when the 2 families became one. Happily, the 4 of them, master and disciples, went to rest in the evening. The elder truly was blessed to enjoy the grass pellet of reversion, given a long life to suffer through monstrous tribulations. How will they part the following day? Please wait until the next chapter.